All right, shalom, shalom. Kahalayim La Yahweh Bashim Shah Bashim Kakadash, the bonus to the apostles, to the elders, great millstone that we teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity of heart. Shalom. It's the brother Batak back again through the spirit with another lesson, and Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. As you can see, I wrote something down in my notes yesterday. Street life furthers slavery, 13th Amendment. I was just thinking about how our people are stuck in a cycle of wanting to be in the streets, whether it be drug dealing or gang banging or just doing illegal acts, and how them by committing crimes against Esau's system of laws or judicial justice system, by committing these crimes you're not doing nothing but putting yourself back into slavery because of the 13th Amendment. So we're going to get the 13th Amendment. um let's get some real quick. The 13th Amendment. All right, it says the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude in the United States, which really, it really just changed it, man. You know. All right, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude in the United States, except as punishment for a crime. So the only reason you so you can commit a crime and you become a slave again, man. And our people are stuck inside of that system because they refuse to leave off, you know, the streets or their criminal acts that further slavery. You know, so the only time you can become a slave again is if you um, commit a crime and you serve that sentence of slavery, basically behind bars, making license plates, working free for the state. Because once you commit a crime, you're a slave again. That's why they set that system up, and that's why they constantly want to lock us up. That's why they want to pin crimes on us so we can go back to slavery. That's exactly what they did, but via the black codes. Let's look up black codes. All right, black codes were laws passed in southern states after the Civil War to restrict the rights of formerly enslaved African Americans. The laws were intended to limit the economic and social freedom of black people and to reinstate much of the pre war slave system. How did black codes work? It says, made vagrancy a crime, turned petty theft into felonies, denied black people the right to vote, serve on juries, or testify against whites, required black people, which these black people is talking about Israelites, mostly the Southern Kingdom, to get approved, require black people to get approved from their previous employer before starting a job, penalize black people who tried to leave a job before paying off in advance, unfairly penalize poor black people for crimes like stealing a farm animal. Why were black codes passed? To ensure a cheap labor force, to persecute and perpetuate antebellum slave codes, and to limit the freedom of black people. How were black codes repealed? This is black codes restricted black people, or just Israelites, black people's rights to own property, conduct business, buy and lease land, and move freely through public places. It says a central element of the black codes were vagrancy laws. States criminalized men who were out of work or who were not working at a job whites recognized. Exactly. So if you didn't have no job, you could be locked up. And what? Guess what? You become a slave again because because of the 13th Amendment. So these laws were set up against our people, man, to keep them in the system of slavery. And our people don't make it no better when they commit a crime. That's why the scripture says, oh, you know, let's get a couple precepts. One precept that's coming to mind is Isaiah 10 and 1. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 10 and 1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Now, black code was an unrighteous decree. It says, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So that's what these devils do. They write these, the laws that they push, and they on our people are very grievous. Like black codes, you know, 13th Amendment is grievous within itself because if you commit a crime, you become a slave again, basically, man. And our people are stuck. They don't understand that, man. That's why we're trying to tell our people to turn away from their wicked, evil ways. You know, the scripture says, be obedient, be at peace with all men if possible, man. Don't be out here doing these wicked acts that these niggas be doing, you know? These jakes, they don't have to do that shit. They can choose to change their life around. They can choose to get a job, you know, stop committing acts of violence, you know, stop murdering, stop killing, stop stealing. They have a choice to stop doing that shit. But they're stuck in that hamster wheel of wickedness, man. Isaiah 10 and 1 is the first scripture that comes to mind. I know it's in the book of Romans. I gotta find which chapter it is. Is it 13? There it is. Romans 13 and 1. Let every soul be subject to the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. So we have to be, even though we have to be subject under Esau's laws, we have to follow certain laws, like, you know, don't be committing crimes and stuff like that. We have to be subject to certain laws when it comes to living in Babylon. You know, can't be stealing, can't be killing, and you know, doing stuff like that. Because what the Lord set these devils up. And you gotta remember that Esau, Edom, is the sword of the Lord, according to Psalms chapter 30. Psalm 17 and 13. So the Lord will use Esau to bring judgment on us if we was to break His laws, man. You know, so we have to be wise. We have to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Wise as serpents. Matthew 10 and 16. Behold, I sent you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. So we have to be sheep. We can't be committing acts of violence, man. We have to be subject. You know, Yahweh Shai didn't go around committing acts of violence. You know, all they did was teach the word. So we don't condone our people to do violent shit. We don't condone our people to do violence. We're trying to steer them in the right path and to follow Yahweh Shai. Because you know we're not living in the times we never condone that type of activity, man. Scripture says if it can be at peace with all men. You know, we have to be at peace with Esau. We can't break his laws because ultimately we're gonna get judgment brought upon us. Matthew 10 and 16 again from the top. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, as harmless as doves. Exactly. We have to be wise and harmless. And if we don't want to get stuck back in that system of slavery, we're going to be subject to Esau's laws and we're going to follow him to us, you know. Romans 13 and 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the ordinance of the Most High, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So, we have to pay taxes. We have to, you know, do these certain things in order to stay out of that system, that jail system, man. You know, we have to obey Esau's laws to a certain degree. You know, we enter in times where he's going to pass draconian legislations, you know, for those that don't want to take the CHIP and stuff like that. But we have to conduct ourselves to obey Esau's laws to a certain degree. When they start making the CHIP mandatory, then of course we have to obey the laws of Yahweh Bashim al Shah, not take it, you know. But and in cases like not committing crimes, like the scripture says, suffer not as a murderer. Hold on, let me see. We're not suffering like a murderer, you know. First Peter's, was it Second Peter's? Yeah, First Peter's 4 and 14. It says, "If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High rested upon you. And their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified," which goes to the persecution that the men of the Lord are going to face behind teaching the gospel. You know, it's really it's really a blessing because we're going through these trials at the same time. It's not going to feel good when we're going through these different trials and tribulations to test our faith in the Lord. Verse 15, which is the point. But let none of you suffer as a murderer. Exactly. We're not suffering as a murderer. We're not getting locked. We're not suffering these reproach because we killed somebody. We're not suffering reproach because we stole from somebody. We're suffering reproach because we teaching the gospel. So we teaching Yahweh Shai, you know? So we're not suffering like the rest of these people. We're suffering the right way. But let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Exactly. We're not suffering like a murderer or a thief. We're suffering because we're following in the footsteps of Yahweh by Shemal Shine, teaching the gospel, and that comes with reproach. That comes with persecution. We don't want to be persecuted like 2/3 of our people are being persecuted. They're being persecuted because they're doing wickedness. They're doing evil. You know, but we're different from them. Verse 16 it says, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, or which is a follower of the anointed, which is Hamashiach Yahushua," it says, "Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on this behalf." You know, so we suffer as teachers of the gospel, man, because it comes with the territory. We don't supposed to suffer as a murderer, which a lot of our people do. And we're trying to persuade our people to leave off from their evil acts, their evil deeds. But only the elect are going to be transformed. You know, they're going to leave from the wickedness. A lot of our people are not going to get out of that cycle. You know, they're not going to wake up to the truth because they're stuck on stupid. Romans 13 and 1 in the NLT says, "Everyone must submit to governing authorities." Exactly, we have to. We're under this man's system. We have to follow laws. You know, certain laws. Stay out of Esau. Stay out of trouble. You know, keep our nose clean. Be harmless. For all authority comes from the Most High, because we know the Lord set Esau up. The Lord is using Esau right now. So if we try to rebel against the system, guess what? We're rebelling against the Most High because what? The Lord set Esau up to be in rulership, to be a whooping stick at the end of the day. So we must obey certain laws, like don't kill nobody, don't steal, anything that'll get you off Esau's radar. I mean, you don't want to get on Esau's radar. Make sure you get your license. Don't be driving with no insurance. Like it's just simple things like that. That is what I'm referring to in this lesson. It says everyone must submit to the governing authorities, for all authority comes from the Most High, and those in the position of authority have been placed there by the Most High. Exactly. So anyone who rebels against authority is rebelling against what the Most High has instituted, and they will be punished. Exactly. So you're going to be punished according to Esau's system. Now, this is only for I'm just referring to the simple things. I'm not referring to the MOTD and stuff like that, and I'm just referring to the simple crimes that we can not do. Like we don't be stealing, we don't be killing, we don't be robbing nobody. It's just simple laws like that our people are doing that cause them to get locked up, or selling drugs, and just wicked acts like that. That's what I'm referring to in this lesson. So um so we have to be subject. We have to be at peace with our men. Be at peace. Um, something to that effect. Oh, agree. Oh, agree with that adversary quickly. There you go. Agree. Adversary. That's the scripture I was thinking of. Come on. With thine. Agree with thine adversary quickly. Here it is. Matthew 5 and 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into the prison. Exactly. We have to agree with our adversary quickly. We can't be talking shit when we get pulled over by the police, or that's what a lot of our jakes do. A lot of our people do. Israelites, they talk shit to the police. They end up getting their ass locked up or shot dead because they won't just agree with thine adversary, man. Agree with thine adversary, because remember, he'll lock your ass up, or worse, he'll kill your ass. Gotta remember, man, we under this devil system. We have to be obedient to a certain degree, man. NLT says, when you are on the way to court with your adversary, settle your differences quickly. Otherwise, your accuser may hand you over to the judge, who will hand you over to the officer, and you will be thrown into prison. Exactly. So we have to agree with our adversary, or guess what? We're gonna get caught up in Esau's fucking jail system, man. Huh. So going back to the my notepad, the street life furthers slavery. Street life furthers slavery. 13th Amendment. So we already got what the 13th Amendment is. It abolishes slavery, quote unquote, unless you commit a crime. And that's why black laws was created. They passed a lot of wicked legislation that ended up, putting a lot of people in jail. Oh, the war on drugs, the so-called war on drugs, which was fabricated. I watched the movie on Netflix called Crack Cocaine and Conspiracy. Let me see. Conspiracy. I know I'm spelling this word so wrong. I hear this. Crack cocaine, corruption, and conspiracy, which came out in 2021. If you brothers haven't never seen this, I suggest you take a look at it. But it showed you how the so-called war on drugs was really fabricated, and upheld. They really created that to you know, it was a weapon that they wanted to use at the time to subdue the people. They put them on drugs and then arrested them for it. A lot of them drugs was getting to the country because these devils was bringing it over the borders, man. They was bringing them here. But the so-called war on drugs, all of these things was done to lock Jake up, to put him behind bars. Let's look at how many so-called blacks are in prison, which is Israelites, and that's not including the so-called Issacharites and the other tribes. It says as of 2022, 32% of people in state or federal prison are black, which are Israelites, the North majority of the Southern Kingdom. This is a significant overrepresentation of black people in the prison population, given that black people are much a smaller percentage of the United States population. So where are there most live people at? In slavery. because of what? They committed a crime, and now they're working. They're spending most of their lives in Esau's prison because of what? The street life that they live, whether it be selling drugs, gang banging, killing, murdering, all of these illegal acts perpetuate slavery. They further slavery because the 13th Amendment says you cannot become a slave unless you commit a crime. So a lot of our people are stuck in the 13th. The 13th Amendment is a motherfucker, man. It's a real unrighteous decree. But that's why we tell our people to straighten up their act so they don't get caught in this system. So I just wanted to do a quick lesson concerning this. This topic came to my mind, and I was like, "Oh shit, man, that's crazy, bro." Like the 13th Amendment, really, the street life endorses slavery when you think about it, because you break a law, you become a slave again. So I just wanted to do a quick lesson concerning that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna close out by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah by Hashem Rakakodash. That for honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule to teach well. Shalom.